but they used a metal detector trying to see if it was a bomb, and it wasn't a bomb at all. It turned out that they were digging, and they found this little about 3-inch, 4-inch pipe, and inside the pipe was a communication from the North Vietnamese to, their spies, whatever. Hey, we're going to be over here, we're going to be over here, and so forth. And so the next thing they did was they used the same L-rod. So they found the communication devices, which helped them, in different battles. And then they used the same communication devices, the L-rod, to find tunnels. And then eventually when they found the tunnels, we had guys during the Vietnam War that were called the rat tunnelers. And they would dig a hole and throw bombs down the hole, kill people, and go down there and do a body count of how many Vietnamese were down there. I mean, it's a terrible story, but it did help the Americans. But now we use it for water wells, and a lot of people do it for the track, horses. And I have not mastered that one yet. I'm trying, but I have found treasure. So I'm just basically saying I was around this at 7. I learned how to do it when I was 7. And then eventually I had a few near-death weird experiences, and one of them was pretty bad, and I died and came back in the hospital. The next one died and came back, and I was in the hospital, and I was told to do some things. So now they told me to become a psychic. They didn't say the word psychic. They said, I want you to do this, this, and this, which is all psychic work. And here I am. And they explained a lot more, which is going to be in one of my books. And it absolutely fascinating going to the other side and coming back. And I guess, I've done a lot of the plethora of the paranormal. And, I have an interesting life. It's not boring. It changes every day. Clients call every day. I'm doing a lot of treasure hunting, which is fun. My first treasure hunt find, and then we'll wrap this up, was an Al Capone treasure that was hidden in Illinois. And my client found over 60 bars of silver. They look like bricks, and they weighed about 6 to 10 pounds. And he stole it with Ray Nitty, and Ray Nitty hid it in Illinois, and my client found it in about 45 minutes. So I used the dowsing bit and my psychic ability to pinpoint it. And on my website, reachjanette.com, there's a picture of my dad holding a bar. It looks really weird. It looks like a brick, and it's actually a bar of silver, one of the bars of silver that the guys found. And it's a very fascinating story.
Oh,
Again,
Finding Treasures under your book. I was scrolling down your website. Yeah, he's got a red something on.
He's got a red scuba. Yeah, he did scuba diving. Yeah, he did scuba diving. He did canoeing. He wrote 4 books on canoeing. He wrote a book on treasure hunting. But what was interesting is that particular silver bar was one of the bars that Al Capone and Ray Nitty and his crew stole from the federal government. And I kept telling my dad, we got to turn it in, because if we turn it in, it's one hell of a story. Excuse my language. And it's just an amazing story. And it's only one of many things they stole. And it could be a great movie. Here's the story of Al Capone. Here's the story of Ray Nitty. And he used to go to this family's house in the South because he loved their pancakes. And that's where the 60 bars of silver were hidden. So,
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Now, is this a photo? And then who did this artwork? Are you an artist? I'm an artist. Are you an artist, or is this someone else's painting?
It used to be. What, the picture of the man? Or what,
using a gray outfit or jean maybe with oil wells in the background. Let's see. It says commissioned by Louis Metacia.
Okay, so Louis Metacia is my father, and he commissioned a famous artist to do some artwork about him, about his work, because his work was, again, worldwide. I get calls from all over. Switzerland and the Philippines. Right now I get 12 calls a year easily from the Philippines to find the general's hidden treasure overseas. And,
wow.
It's ridiculous. A lot of them can't afford it. They can't pay for it. They just want everything free. But every once in a while, somebody will pay me to try to find the treasure. It's a very interesting type of a project to work on. Al Capone was easier. It was not booby-trapped. In the Philippines, everything's booby-trapped. In Germany, I had a client who went out, got out of his car, started using his metal detector, went to a site I sent him to, and in 7 minutes, he found items from the Dark Ages. Dowsing is amazing. It just helps you pinpoint. You can use your psychic ability, but dowsing also embellishes the skills. So it's great.
Well, I want to talk to you about everything and how you developed that. We've got 2 hours here to do This Is Your Life. I'm surprised Tommy's not here because he is always here on Sunday. We've been doing it 4 to 6, and I'm really surprised because he always calls me, and I haven't heard from him. So, Tommy, if you're out there, Janette and I will just continue on. I'm sure that we can give you a copy of the show. We're in our ACO, our Ascension Center Organization, is our largest federally, our federal number Ascension Center Organization. We have ACE Folklife, Historical Society, ACE Metaphysical Institute, and a lot of our groups. And we do work with Edgar Cayce quite a lot, all those. And I've talked to some of the women about doing something down here where I live for those people that are interested. Plus, we work with MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and we're a Society of Professional Journalists. And Jenny and I crossed each other in social media on LinkedIn, and I had no clue. I still really don't who she is, but I have to go with my guts. And she apparently felt okay with me, so I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm hoping we're co-creators together, Jenny. It looks like we're on the similar path. So I don't think you know much about me except what you saw maybe a little bit on LinkedIn. So we haven't shared all our websites or what all, but let's talk about how you got into all this. So are you saying that from the age 7, because I died in the 2nd grade myself and saw angels. I had hepatitis A. It was they never did figure out, the disease control in the 50s, but they took out my blood back in the day when they were just starting in 57. I remember being out and seeing Sputnik go over, but I was in the 2nd grade going to Mitchell Elementary, but I actually got hepatitis and left my body. Remember seeing the angels come to the top of the room, and I knew from then on I was going to be okay. And then they commissioned me to go out to Los Alamos and White Sands, and at that age, and I had found out my uncles worked in the UFO business out there, but it's a really strange path for a little girl. So can you go back? Did you say that your first near-death was at 7, or just your father got you interested in dowsing at 7? Let's do your life from back when you were little, when you started developing skills.
Sure. I learned about the dowsing at 7, but I did have a near-death at 7. I still have the scar from it. I was running from the babysitter and got sliced up in the head with barbed wire, barbed wire. And my babysitter put me to bed all bloody and everything. And, I was laying there crying how painful it was. And some people walked in the room. And I was like, gosh, who are they? And I thought it was a priest praying for me, and he goes, I am your real father. And I said, okay. And he goes, I'm here to help you, and these 2 people are going to come in, and they're your real parents, and they're going to heal you, and we're going to heal you. And he took his finger, and he healed my head and said, this is a healing, and I'm going to show you your past lives, and I'm going to show you several things, how your life is going to change, and everything's going to change at 27. And you'll know because Shirley MacLaine is going to write a book about it, and they said the word come out about it. Well, my mom looked similar to Shirley MacLaine, so that's how I knew who Shirley MacLaine was. Plus, I lived in Arlington, Virginia, and Shirley MacLaine was from Arlington, Virginia.
Oh, so my. I didn't even know that.
Yes.
How about that? You know a lot more than I do about all this. Well, keep going. It's a good story because I did follow out on a limb because I remember where I was in 86 watching it on television with my children in the Navy. I worked at Navy Regional Finance Center in Great Lakes, and I'd just finished my hospital corpsman A school and my personnel and information security and weapon training. All at that year. So when that came on, I was like, me and my kids had to sit down and watch it. And I knew she was a great dancer, and I liked her TV or movies. But she had her own psychic channeler or something But you want to fill me in on how you got familiar with her again, and let's go with that.
Basically,
that's
during the
part.
near-death, they were just telling me, you will know because the trigger is Shirley MacLaine. When Shirley MacLaine comes out, everything will change for you at 27. And
wow.
At 27, I was back in the hospital. I had kidney failure, and I died in the hospital. And then I came back again, and a week later, I was in a car wreck in the hospital, I think for a day or so. But the first time when I was 27, I was in the hospital, I think about 2 weeks. But what had happened was Shirley MacLaine came out with her book like a week before that happened to me. And I do remember them saying, watch out for Shirley MacLaine. And I said, wow, I'm going to have something to do with the paranormal or something like that. I didn't know. I just thought, well, that's weird. And I thought, I'm not going to meet her. It's just something to do with this. So I went to the other side, and I actually, on that particular time, I didn't get to see the angels on the ceiling. I got to, I guess I was out of my body because I died, and I got to walk in an area that looked like fog, and suddenly I was upstairs in the heavens, and I was surrounded by people that said they were my relatives from previous lives. And it was awkward because some of the people were speaking foreign languages, and I thought, speak English, speak English, speak English. And then a lot more happened to me. I got to meet people, and I got to be told, go in this line because that's the line that's going to go back. And I said, oh, okay, good, because I'd like to go back. If you don't mind, what can I do for you so I can go back? I never got married. I never had kids. And, they just said, we want you to go find missing people. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. If they said become a chef, I would have said, yeah, sure. If they said become a ditch digger, I probably would have said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. You're unsure of your situation because it feels like you're in your physical body, but I really think you're an orb personally, just a theory I have. Because you feel like you're still there. Even though you stop breathing, you feel like you're still breathing. I don't know if you experienced that when you were.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to. Yeah, my story, of course, it's been out here for years on this radio show, but different parts of it. But definitely, when I died, when I was 23, given placenta previa, I came right out the top of my head this time. So, the first time I was a little girl, I guess they left me hovering above my bed. I mean, I remember sitting in these cute little pajamas with little red cupids on them my mother had bought for me and looking at them. But my body, my psychic body or your orb body or whatever you want to call it, because we're trying to find folks how to talk to each other's psychic. We're all mystics, oracle, psychics, sages, seers, shaman, and light workers, truth seekers, star seeds, since Shirley MacLaine. So what it is just catching up with each other on what we've done on this planet because we talk in 3D. But me going at placenta previa, fourth child born, and they had to cut her out of me. So I was already in I had placenta previa at home, so I'd lost a huge part of my placenta. So I was bleeding out profusely. And my mother knew what was going on. She just lived about 10 minutes away. She came running over at 4:35 in the morning, raced me to the hospital. The doctor wasn't there yet, but she'd called them. And anyway, by the time they got me there and hooked up to the equipment, I had a slow bleed, but I didn't know I was bleeding out. But I remember them hooking the baby monitor and mine up in the little room to the side. And then I said, finally the doctor came in. I said, Doctor, am I going to die? And he looked in my eyes and said, no, if I can help it. But he zoomed me immediately. It wasn't like 45 minutes on a slow bleed. I don't know why that morning it just popped the cork or whatever. But by the time I'd lost pretty much all my blood, I think they said maybe one pint. Because I did die from lack of blood, and then they cut me open to take the baby out. So I went up through my head and watched the clock to see what time, but I don't remember what time. But saw her, so I put the baby's print on. But I went up through the ceiling and went through stars and got all kind of information into my head. I was able to come back and do some stuff. But I went up, and I call it I've divided it up into Uni, Multi, Meta, Xeno, and Omni, 5 levels, and up to Alpha and Omega. But I call him Tommy. I hope he comes on. But different people call it different things, and I was very shocked because this time I didn't stop at the room. I went through, I went on through various, I call them universes. So it's going to be interesting with somebody like you